Ligon takes control of Kanju and says, "Finally, we have met. So how are you, my first love?" Hearing this, Kanju gets shocked and says, "What did you just say? Am I yours?" At the same time, Ligon's mom and dad come there. His mom asks, "Are you all right? Did you recognize both of us?" He doesn't say anything. Then they ask Kanju, "Doctor, is he all right?" He makes a heart sign and shows it to Kanju, which shocks her. The same thing is going on in Kanju's mind again and again that Ligon had told her. She thinks, "I am his first love. This cannot be possible. Maybe I heard it wrong." After checking Ligon's condition, Professor Han says, "Kanju, we have done it. We have erased the bad memories. His condition is very good and there are no side effects visible. I will go and tell this to the director right now." Kyung-ju says, "There is no need to tell them right now because we will observe it for a few days first. If everything goes well, then we will report to the director." In the next scene, we see his mom, dad, Lee Sun, and Gu Bang in front of Ligon. His mom asks, "Are you okay?" Then his dad asks Ligon, "Do you remember your name?" Hearing this, his mom says, "What nonsense are you talking about? Tell him his name yourself and ask him if he recognizes us." Ligon says, "You both are sculptures." Everyone gets shocked and starts wondering whether he has lost his memory. Then Ligon says, "You both have given birth to a handsome son like me, so you are the reason for the sculpture's experiment." His bad memories have been erased, due to which his entire personality has changed. His mom says, "You were hurt. Do you remember?" Ligon says, "My hands and legs are absolutely fine, so where did I get hurt?" Everyone is convinced that Ligon's bad memories have been erased because he does not remember the fact that he had broken his hand 15 years ago, due to which he had to give up tennis. Then suddenly, Ligon starts shouting loudly and says, "Give me a mirror." He shows his face in the mirror and says, "Thank God that my face did not get hurt, otherwise my handsome face would have been spoiled." He starts touching the bandage on his head, then his dad stops him from doing so and says, "This bandage is because you had a small injury on your head. You just had a small surgery, but you will be fine." Listen asks, "Can you tell what was your last memory?" Listen tells him, "Junior World Championship. I remember the final very well. I won that match." Lee Sun thinks to himself, now his bad memories have been erased. He tells everyone stability is very important. That is why we should not rush. The doctor told him, "It is very common to lose memory for some time after an accident." Hearing this, Ligon asks, "Which accident are you talking about? What happened to me?" His mom and dad are about to tell him that he jumped into the river, but then Lee Sun lies and says, "You fell down the stairs." His mom and dad say, "Yes, that's what happened." Ligon starts wondering, did I really fall down the stairs? Kanju forbids Professor Han from telling Ligon the truth. He thought that he should tell something to the director, but his stomach cannot digest it, so he tells the whole thing to the director. Here we come to know from his words that they are going to observe the film for 100 days. If in these 100 days no side effects are seen, then it means the experiment was successful. Then we see Kanju, who checks all the counseling records of Ligon, but she has not mentioned anywhere about her first love, Kyung-ju. She remembers when Ligon had mentioned his first love on the plane. She gets frustrated and says, "He wanted to meet his first love, but how did I become his first love? Did it have any side effects? Oh my dear." When Kyung-ju is going crazy, she is about to meet Ligon. Ligon looks at her very lovingly, due to which Kyung-ju does not go inside. Then we see Professor Han, who is saying to Ligon's mom and dad, "Ligon should not know about his past and experiments until things get right. You all have to take care that he does not meet anyone who reminds him of his past." Ligon's mom says, "You said you would erase his bad memories, but why did you erase so many of his memories?" Professor Han says this is the proof that whatever had happened in his life till now were all bad memories. By the way, was there any girl Ligon loved? Was she his girlfriend or just someone he liked? If Ligon's mom, dad, and Listen don't know, then Ligon's dad asks Gu Bang, "You are his friend, right? Do you know anything?" Gu Bang says, "I don't know." Ligon's mom asks, "Are there any side effects of this experiment?" Professor Han says, "Yes, till now we too are feeling the same, but this was the first experiment on humans, so at this time we are not sure. No, there will be no side effects in the future. Ligon's guardian had said that he is ready to take the risk. That is why we did the experiment." Ligon's mom and dad get worried because they had not said anything like this. Ligon says, "I had told him, and I was the one who had given him permission to experiment on the ligament." Then his mom says, "How did you take this decision alone? If something happens to him?" Professor Han says, "You must know why your son was brought to the hospital. Perhaps Ligon's life had become worse than hell. That is why he had gone to commit suicide, but after the experiment it can be said that Ligon has been born again, and at this time he has no bad memories. Then we see Ligon, who is drinking tea and talking to himself. At the same time, a nurse comes there to check his blood pressure, and Ligon starts flirting with the nurse. When Ligon is roaming in the hospital, he also tries to flirt with the doctor while Kyung-ju is still worried about how she could be Ligon's first love. Then Ligon pulls Kanju into the laundry room of the hospital. Kanju asks him, "What are you doing?" Ligon says, "I think you were looking for me unofficially." Then Kanju says, "Ligon, listen to me carefully. I am your doctor, not your first love. I don't know the exact reason, but you had misunderstood our relationship. It's only between the doctor and the patient, nothing more than that." Ligon says, "Don't you really know me?" Then Kanju lies to him. "I saw you for the first time in the operation room." Ligon says, "This can't be possible. How could you forget a boy as handsome as me?" Then outside, a doctor starts talking dirty to her boyfriend. Both Ligon and Kanju become silent and start listening to her words. Ligon starts laughing due to her words. Kanju closes his mouth, but when the doctor hears Ligon's voice, she disconnects the phone and knocks on the door to ask if there is anyone inside. When there is no answer, the doctor goes to open the door, but it doesn't open because Ligon has locked the door from inside. Kanju tells Ligon not to tell anyone whatever happened between us here. Then she asks Ligon to open the door. Ligon says, "We both were alone in this room without anyone knowing. What if people find out? They might misunderstand." Kanju says, "Stop your nonsense. Nothing like that will happen. Just open the door." Then Dr. Tae comes outside, and Kyung-ju stops Ligon from opening the door. Dr. Tae tries to open the door, but it doesn't open because Ligon has pushed the door from inside with his left hand. Seeing this, Kyung-ju thinks to herself his bad memories have been erased, but his hand is still the same. So what is the meaning of this experiment? It was not perfect. She asks Ligon, "Why are you not pushing the door with your right hand now?" Ligon says, "Because my left hand is enough." Dr. Tae says, "It will not open like this. The security will have the key. I will call him and bring it." Kyung-ju gets very upset because she doesn't want Dr. Tae to have any misunderstandings. She wants to date Dr. Tae, so she tells Ligon, "If the security guard comes, we will be caught. That's why you should hide in the laundry basket." Ligon says, "There are very dirty clothes in it, so I am not going to hide in it. Anyway, I am already sick, so I don't want to get sick further." Kanju does not want to be caught, so she says, "You are the one who has been with your first love for so long. We were waiting for you. Can't you do even this much for her?" Ligon says, "I love you, but I love myself more than you." Kanju says, "Okay, let's play rock, paper, scissors, and whoever loses will have to hide in the laundry basket." The security guard comes and is about to open the door. Then Kanju comes out pretending to be talking on the phone, which means Ligon had lost the game. Kanju closes the door and says, "What are you two doing here? There is a lot of work to be done," and she takes them away from there. Ligon was hiding in the laundry basket, and the smell of dirty clothes makes him lose his mind. Ligon's mom comes to the nurse and asks, "I am Ligon's mom. When will his infection go away?" The nurse and the doctors find out that Ligon is not in his room, which makes them all very worried, and they quickly go to her room. Kyung-ju is taking a therapy session with a patient when she gets a message that Ligon has run away from the hospital. This makes Kyung-ju very angry, and she starts wondering why he ran away. Then we see Ligon at his house taking a bath and thinking about the matches he had won in the Junior World Championship. He is remembering the moments but does not remember whether he won the final match or not, because after winning the final, his hand was broken, and that moment is the worst memory of his life. He says to himself, after all, when will Dash come back? After taking a bath, he goes to Listen's room and starts choosing clothes to wear. Lee Sun quickly arrives at his house and goes to Listen's room to look for him. But he is not there. He starts checking in his room. When Ligon is looking at the tennis rackets placed on the side of the bed, tears start coming from his eyes and he starts wondering why he is crying. Then Listen comes there and says, "Oi, what are you doing here?" Hearing this, Ligon says, "What did you say?" "Oi, I am elder to you. I told you, brother, there was no bathtub in the hospital, so I came home to take a bath. But after seeing this room, why am I feeling like this?" Upon hearing this, Listen puts his photos under the table and says, "What are you talking about? This is your room only? The clothes and watch you are wearing are kept in this room? Everything is yours." At the same time, his mom and dad come home, and in their hands we see the same luggage that Ligon had gone to return to Kanju. When both of them see Ligon, they are quite shocked because he is wearing a suit and boots and looking very handsome. They had never seen Ligon like this before. His mom is about to ask why he is wearing Ligon's clothes, but his dad stops her from speaking. He tells Ligon, if you come home, if you had felt like it, you would have come and told me. Do you know how worried everyone in the hospital is because of you? You have regained consciousness only today, so you should have stayed in the hospital. If anything happens to you. Ligon says, I thought that if I come home, I will remember my lost memories. But did I really fall down those stairs which hurt my head? But why do I feel like I fell into the Han River? Lee's son and his dad say together, that is not at all the case. You had fallen down the stairs, Ligon says. I remember well that I used to play tennis and was quite famous too. So tell me, how am I doing now? People can't tell him the truth, so his mom says, you retired from tennis. You wanted to learn how to run a company, so after you graduated from college, you joined a sports agency. Now you are the agency manager of Listen. She also shows her business card to Listen so that he can believe these things. When his dad opens the luggage, he is shocked to see the girl's clothes in it. He shows those clothes to his mom and signals her. After all, what is all this? Seeing those clothes, his mom and Listen also get interested but do not ask Ligon about that luggage, thinking that he might have some bad memories associated with it. Seeing him talking a lot, he feels good. He has gained self-confidence and is also happy. Ligon says, I will come after the hospital, and he chooses a car and leaves for the hospital. All three of them understand that after the experiment, the entire personality of Ligon has changed. Seeing this form of Ligon, all three of them are very happy, and this is where episode 3 ends. So guys, how did you like this episode? Please tell me by commenting if you liked my explanation. Also, if you liked it, please like this video and subscribe to the channel to see the explanations in future episodes. I will meet you in the next video. Take care, bye-bye.